Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would take a look at the workshop again. This time it's a little bit different. I'm looking at just bases made over time, not necessarily brand new. I'm looking at all these in vanilla as well because most of these are older creations, and there's quite a few here. So the first one here is the Jera-Colony, and this is by uh, TiwBras. TiwBras. Um, Really cool looking creation. Love the color, the styling, the detail throughout is pretty immaculate. I gotta say, and it's like a city inside of here. I just took a quick walk around right before the video. I didn't go in any buildings or anything, but I just wanted to take a look at what was going on in the area, and it's got just a whole bunch of different buildings that are interconnected. Um, just really, really cool. Neat place to explore, definitely. I'd like to see this as like a POI or something in the game, if it's not already. It would be really, really cool to see. But this is actually like a functional base too, because you have like you know, grow plots and places to put vehicles and all kinds of stuff inside of here. A work lab, which is like a production center. Let's go in some of these buildings here. Let's start out with this one. I kind of want to do the lighting thing, but I'll hold off on that for a second, and I'll just take a quick buzz through it at night as well. Yeah, check this out. It's just cool. It's kind of with the red uh, blocks. It looks pretty interesting, and a lot of framework and railing parts and things like that give this just a lot of detail. Unusual shaping. So let's see, what's this building over here? Oh, I love the front gate and the walkway that goes around here as well. That's just one of the really cool things to see that you can do with Empyrion. You know, this is probably equate this more to like a Minecraft type of builds. Mostly on this video, I would say that, but it's a lot of inspiration, a lot of creativity, and something that gets overlooked often on the workshop as well. Man, this just looks nice. I really do like this. Not sure about the green doors, but I guess yeah, it kind of goes together. It really does. It's hitting that different color hue set, and it's looks really good that way. Look at all the farm plots up here. Oh wow, there's some ways out to the roof over here too. Oh, landing pad on the top. Let's get an aerial view of this place here, and check out some of the bigger buildings on the front side here too. Wow. See, this is just cool. This is just cool. Really get excited to see this kind of stuff. I like to see a lot of creativity. I really do. I like to see unusual ways to do things, unusual texturing and colors, schemes. This one hits it on like all fronts. It really does for me. It's yeah, I like all the railings and stuff too, and you get some really neat shadows on the ground from that too. There are certain parts in the game that reflect light correctly and make proper shadows. Not all parts do that, but the ones that are used on this one do. So let's check out this building over here as well. Okay, so we got some crew area. All right, probably should get up to the front side here. Quite a place to explore though. Bathrooms, more bathrooms, elevator system, balconies. Not supposed to see the building, so out to the oh, behind me there yet. Try to be sneaky. Check this out too. I love the look of how that actually makes the reflection on the ground. That adds a lot of detail. You get some shadows that you wouldn't normally see in a voxel game, and shadows are important too. I mean, if used correctly, it can really result in a lot of increased detail. It's kind of like if you were playing a video game and you wanted, and your video card was struggling, and you turned off like shadows completely, how much worse the graphics would actually look, no matter how detailed they were. Life Center. Yeah, this is just very, very cool though. So I hats off to this one. I never looked at this before. And speaking of that, let's try to get this at night a minute here too. I just want to see what. I guess it's gonna be a little hard to see. Yeah, I was wondering about that. If it was gonna be kind of on the dark side to see anything. It's almost impossible to light up an area this big though properly, or you'd have to use so many lights that it would be very choppy, or could be very choppy depending on your computer and everything else. So anyway, really really cool creation. Again, it's on the workshop. It's been around for a long time. I'm not so concerned about specs of these. Most of these were built long before there was such a thing as CPU or definitely Reforged Eden, anything like that. So I have a feeling that every one of these is not going to be compliant with CPU. However, most of these would probably be easily able to achieve CPU by simply adding some CPU blocks somewhere on them. So, well, anyway, the next one I wanted to show, this is by a person that was around before I was when I got into Empyrion, and this is by ZeroG or Jenniphurr. And this building here, I just thought was amazingly cool. Now it's very very old right now. In fact, I don't know if it's going to tell me its release date here. I don't think so. But this was done like early Empyrion, before there was all the different blocks, before there was all the different parts and other things going on. And I just thought the architecture of the building was just very very cool. Kind of reminds me of that one building in oh god, now I can't think of the city name. It's in the United Arab Emirates, I believe. Man, anyway, it's slick looking building. Let's go take a tour through it. Again, very old though. I mean, because it was just built at a different time before there was so much stuff in the game, different parts and blocks and deco things and all kinds of stuff. So this was basically like pretty raw, like back early days. We're talking like Alpha 6, Alpha 7 time frame, I do believe, possibly even before that. Well, here, let's jump in this side, I guess. Here, I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know my way around the building yet. I've actually never toured the inside of it before. Welcome to ZeroG. This was a headquarters building. Actually, it's called the ZeroG-Theta-HQ. So, looks really really cool. There are some lights in here too, so I'll have to check that out. I like the big chandelier looking things hanging down from the ceiling here. Looks like we also have an inner balcony that goes around the outer edge here, and a lot of glass windows all along the sides. Let's go up the elevator another notch here. So it looks like it was meant to be populated in here. You got quite a lot of floor space, but it was a headquarters. So I imagine this would be like the shell building, and then you start adding stuff into it. Here, let's go out this side here. Okay, so that just goes out to a balcony there. And also, a reason why I wanted to really spawn this one is it was direct inspiration for something that I made in the past too. I seen this on the workshop and got excited to build a building myself, and I'll show you what that building ended up being. It was I never released it to the workshop. Well, I kind of did, but friends only, as it was a fake building. In other words, it was built of carbon substrate with no interior. So I didn't feel that was worthy to actually put on the workshop. I just used it as like a background deco type of thing for some screenshots for other creations. So I know this goes up higher here. I'm getting a little bit lost. Okay, so we got a big opening over here. I like this overlooking balcony. That was another feature that I wanted to put on buildings too. I thought that looked pretty cool. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to find a way up, and I'm having trouble with that. How do I get to this floor? Ah, the elevator is... Oh, no, that goes up from there. I like the carpeting, use of carpeting in here. Interesting bookshelf arrangement here, but it's just, yeah, it's got a nice look to it. Really, really does. I'm just struggling to figure out how does one get to this floor, or was that intentionally done where there is no staircase to this floor? Because I see it go up from here. I just don't see it. I don't see how you get up to here. Maybe without landing. Maybe this is the headquarters area on top, and it's segregated from the rest of the building. But this thing has a lot of floors to it. It is a small skyscraper, definitely. I won't even say small. It's a wow. So we're on floor 8 here. Let's go up to 9. Lots of balconies and stuff, though. Very cool, very cool. The whole angled structure going all the way up. So let me buzz over this way a minute, and I'll just show you what became of. So somehow that building inspired this building. This was that fake building I was telling you about. Some of the same characteristics. It has this big angled structure on the top. Now this thing could be enormous if it had an interior, but it would be such a high size class it would be kind of pointless. But this was just something I had a lot of fun with building at one point in time, and I had never really fully tweaked it out or anything like that. And I faked out all the glass. The glass is actually marble texture, and I changed the tint on some things to try to make it look like separate window panes, kind of an illusion. But to use actual glass on here meant I would have had to have it would have just been a lot more taxing on everything, really. So that's why I did it that way, because it was intended to be a fake building. Now this one's a real building. It actually has a real floor space inside. Very, very cool design. And also by the same author. This is more recent, so I haven't seen Jenniphurr do a lot on the workshop for a while, but I'm a little mistaken because I noticed that this appeared 4 or 5 months ago, and that is one cool looking little SV. That is really, really slick looking. The styling design on it's got a shield. It's got I like how these parts are displayed within it. Armor locker. Using the X-wing cockpit very effectively on this design, and the wings are just very cool. I love how this deco piece was put on the edges of the wings, the back wings and everything like that. It's just slick looking SV, and it's got some weaponry on it too. So one of the sleekest looking ones I think I've ever seen. Definitely. It's what is this thing, like maybe like 3 or 4 blocks tall at the tops, but it's got all this definition and detail on the side view especially, which is really hard to pull off. Anyway, those are both by the same author. Awesome work on this one. Hope you come back sometime and build some more stuff for this this wonderful Empyrion game here. So the next one here is this big round pole right here, and that's all it is. No, I'm kidding. So next one here is the GIA Solaris C02 by Tom Kuruyüz. I'm saying the last name totally wrong. Kuruyüz. And this one was very unique. It works. This literally holds the structural integrity of this building. That's all it really needs. It can only go out so far from the base point, but this is basically an elevated tower base. Does not have a central elevator inside it, so you wouldn't access this base from the ground. You would literally probably want to fly up and park on it, then go down the elevator from the top. But I thought this was just a really slick, unusual design. Definitely, it got different balconies and things like that. Just a lot of fun to see what you can do with like bases and structures like that. It doesn't actually look like I can get in from this floor either. So basically, I think the only access point would be probably up on the top or on this floor here. exploring this a little bit. Yeah, way up top. So you get a great view here. Kind of you're almost sitting at the same height as the top of the tower of the other building there. Really cool. I don't know, so if you're ever into like building cities or something like that, this game can really do that quite well. You normally don't see a lot of that because most people are building moving creations. Oh, look at the ceiling. But I mean, there's a lot of possibilities in here. It'd be kind of fun to actually build like a more expansive like city and set it up. You could really do a lot of work with that. Definitely create just about anything you want. Ceiling's really cool though. I haven't. This is it's a weird pattern formation where you got texture lights in one shade and one type of block going one way and a different one going the other way. But it's a neat look. I haven't seen that done before. Not like that. But largely open inside, so you basically populate this with what you want, I guess, in the building. So throw in some constructors or whatnot. Again, CPU is not terribly important on these things. Take a look at it real quick. This one actually, it's got a lot. I guess, yeah, it has a lot of room to add in whatever you want in there. But very, very cool building. It really looks neat from a distance too when you're flying by, especially different environmental settings and things like that. Right now, I just got the bright, sunny, temperate world here, but yeah, very, very cool building. Like the radar out the bottom of it too. So that's another one on the workshop. I just thought it was very unique and something to see. So the next one here, I'm not looking at the texturing. As it's all pretty much done in marble. I'm just looking at the architecture of this one. And this one was going with a totally different scheme, like a more normal looking house. Regular roof lines, things like that. I'm not trying to be all space age and ultra modern or anything like that. But just the way the roof line and everything was done on this, I thought this one looked really cool. It's got a lot of lights on here too, so we'll have to take a look at what this looks like at night. I try to get it spawned as good as I could, but it's rough with the uneven ground on a lot of these buildings. You know, some of them are kind of floating in the air a little bit. I had to do that on purpose, otherwise I was going to bury parts of them. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, use of textures, I do think it's it's overdoing the marble. It looks nice; it's a nice looking texture, but it would be kind of neat if it had more use of textures in here. But it was really about the actual styling of the exterior of the building that I thought was really cool in this one, and I like the window up here. But it is laid out pretty well for a base too. I mean, well, I mean, I don't believe you have any kind of hang or anything like that in here, but just looking at how this is set up, I just think it's really cool. It gives you ideas of what you actually could do if you wanted to try to do a traditional 20th century kind of, fancy house or something like that. It's a pretty big house too. A lot of different rooms in it. I believe this was made in a time before there was like the double doors and stuff that we have now. So, or cargo extensions, things like that. But so you do have a place for crafting over here. And you got some really nice looking like master bedroom. I gotta assume that this would be. Terminals, nice. I love the window. I love the round incorporated inside of here. Just some really cool architectural stuff that would actually translate quite well to real world sort of real world walls are not usually about 8 foot thick, but hey. Yeah, definitely a cool looking creation. Love the architecture though. It's what really sets it apart is it changes. It's not like one thing all the way across. It's like it's got this piece that comes out over here at that level. This comes out over on the other side. You got the different balconies, different roof lines. Just really works well together and looks very realistic. overall. Let's just take a look at the light here too. And at night, with all the lights on there, it does kind of give it that nice, really cool look at night. Most of these look pretty good at night, though. Even the Theta-HQ, I love that blue going up the one side over there. That looks really, really great. So I don't know if you guys ever get inspired to build some buildings. I mean, they could be used for these. I mean, some of these could be POIs. Some of these could be part of like a city project, like Anvil City or something like that. Just trying to get a little inspiration out there. And I was actually thinking about building another building someday. It's been a while. I haven't really done many of those. Everything I focus on, well, most things I've been focusing on are really so related to in-game function. Sometimes that you can kind of totally lose a sense of art and creativity in the process, and I don't want to lose that either. Of course, most people want to have things that really work well in game, but you know, if you're more on the art side of things, I totally support that too, because that's really, at the end of the day, what really makes a game look good to me is the art stuff, not so much the super combat CV, unless it's styled really, really nicely. But most of the time, you know, when you have to go to such extremes to make a solid combat ship, you're sacrificing a lot of potential art and design in the process, or make things look very unrealistic. And I do like realism when you're building these things. Even, you know, even like the building back there, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, you could see a building like that in the real world. There's a lot of crazy looking things out there. Modern skyscrapers and things like that, they get pretty exotic. So that's totally not, you know, out of the question of seeing a building like that. All right, well, the next one here, oh, did I say author name here? This is the Ceramic House, and it's by Steph, or Steph. I just thought I would show that one. Sorry about not saying the name first off. Now the next one I'm gonna show at night to start with, because this. Ooh, hold up. I must have ran out of fuel. I forgot to fill this one up. Check out this thing. This is Sahara-Towers, and this is by Willow. Wow. See, this is kind of what I was getting at here in the buildings. What you can do. Now this one is using exotic shaping, coloring, and a mix of lighting, which is creating this really, really cool looking effect over the whole hall of the building. That's why I really wanted to show this one at night. It's largely marble again, and it's general looks here, but or texturing, I should say, but with the colored lights and the different color marble, it just has a really, really cool look to this. Sorry about the spawning job on this one again. I was trying to make sure I didn't sink it into the ground. Again, kind of a problem with any larger building structure when you're trying to spawn it. It's incredibly difficult to find enough ground that's flat enough to do that with, unless you modify that first. Look at this thing though. This is pretty large too. This is a pretty good sized building. Yeah, the overall visual look of this, I just think is very, very cool. Especially looks neat at night. Daytime, no exception, it looks great at the daytime too, but it takes a use of a lot of lighting on this to make this do what it's doing here. So, here, let's go inside a bit here. So this one does have a nice hangar. Looks like you got plenty of parking area. Look at that exotic walkway. That is some crazy, crazy block shaping going on there. Different colors. Just really, really different architectural style to this one. And then we got a med bay over here as well. So this one looks like it would be, you know, fairly useful in game. It looks like you've got all your stuff over here when you first walk in, where you got some production. your big power. That's a huge generator for a base. Generator room. Yeah, I like the openness of it. And yeah, it's just look at these balconies and stuff like that. Anyway, let's go up the elevator here, see where we end up at. Looks like we get up to the first floor, looking around here, or the second floor, I should say. Oh, I got some grow plots over on the side over here. They're even designed kind of that's different setup for sure. This room's really really quite bright. Over here looks like we got our control room. Very nice. I like this overlooking balcony throughout the lower hangar area. Oh, okay. And then we got our some, yeah, next to the farm. Makes sense. So we've got our fridges and food processor. Go up another floor, also looking down over the hangar. This just looks like a chill out room over here. See where these doorways are going to. Oh, great big balcony off the side over here. This is all elevated too. That looks really cool. That looks definitely cool. Well, we got a doorway over here as well. Out to a room. Looks like a bedroom. That's cool. Look at that engraving on the wall there, using some really unusual blocks and coloring and texturing. That's actually like a carpet texture there or whatnot. Bathroom. Gotta have the bathroom. Well, that's off to the one side. Let me see. We probably got another building over here. Okay. Similar but different. Different interior design and style in here. Huh. Very cool. Statues fit well with this too. Let's go up another floor here. Okay, it looks like that takes us right out the top. Oh, no, we got a big room up here. I should have known. Wow, look at this. That is definitely pretty crazy. And still overlooking the front, the atrium, or the front of the building there. Got all the use of round corners and blocks, and the combination of blocks being used for this. Very interesting. Oh, the city I was thinking of is Dubai, by the way, and it was the building that's out on its own little island out in Dubai that reminds me of that one over there. So this is the top floor, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay, then you got a big landing area or something on the top, but it doesn't look like there's any access to directly get down into the building from there. Anyway, very cool. Let's here. I'll turn on the lights finally here. Sorry about all that. This one just needed to be shown at night to really get its full effect. I think a lot of work was put into lighting on it, and you can see how much of a difference that lighting will make on a creation too. Anyway, very cool design here. Again, the Sahara-Towers by Willow. One last thing I wanted to show you on this video, and that's all the buildings I've got here, as I just wanted to show you where I was at with this yet to be named ship. I'm getting closer to naming it, but I did fully texture it. I'm going to do a little bit more tweaks on this thing yet, but I kind of jammed on it last night. I wanted to get all the texturing done and get it pretty much ready for release. Probably going to release it this Sunday. So this is how it came out in the end. Now I'm in vanilla as well. Again, this is kind of built for vanilla. So taking a look at our default CPU, I had to run Tier 4 CPU blocks in it because it's the only thing that's in uniform with Reforged Eden. If I were to put in two of the Tier 2 CPU blocks, or the improved CPU blocks, or bring it up to Tier 3, I guess that works here, but it doesn't work in Reforged Eden, where you would have to remove those blocks, or maybe not. I've been struggling to try to figure out how to make this the easiest possible. Now I've got this thing stripped of a lot of stuff right now. Obviously, I think all of its guns, all of its turrets, the radar. Inside over here, I temporarily pulled the warp core. I'll probably put some of these parts back in, like the warp core. I took out the shield, Pentaxia tank. It doesn't have the constructor in here right now. The trauma station, but it still has the 4 advanced cores in here. So this is, I'm pretty happy with this ship. It flies good, especially in vanilla, but they all fly better in vanilla. I hit my goal of 32K storage in here, which I wanted to do. Plus, it's got another 5K ammo, some passenger seats, all that fun stuff. And now it's fully textured. I just got to figure out how exactly I want this to come stock right now. You know, what parts should be in here. Obviously, I can't put any turrets on it due to them not translating properly between vanilla and Reforged Eden. And but it probably should come with like the shield and warp core and Pentaxia tank and some of those main parts. So I'll try to figure out a good balance. The biggest thing is I know, you know, in vanilla, if you put all those parts in there, you're going to need your 4 advanced cores to pull that off. Reforged Eden kind of needs that too. So I didn't, you know, that's why I have those in by stock. But I could kind of downgrade it. I could leave all the parts off and equip it with 2 improved cores, I think, which would translate okay between vanilla and Reforged Eden as well. But I think in Reforged Eden it falls short on not having enough CPU to operate because of that. It would also need like a basic core, maybe an advanced core on top of that. So the only common denominator between both working stock is to have the 4 advanced cores. I think that was the conclusion I came to. But I should be able to put some more parts back in here that I stripped out for the time being. But anyway, I got it to be green and vanilla. It took a little bit. Again, it came down to it did not like the turrets that I had on there. The minigun turrets that I installed in Reforged Eden cause it to show in red when you bring it into vanilla, and that was its biggest issue. I didn't have any problems with the thrusters or any of that stuff. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today's video. I just kind of wanted to show you some really cool buildings, all very unique in style. Again, most of these are quite old, but just kind of showing you the different side of Empyrion on its potential that you can do, you know, designing whatever you feel like designing. Building a really cool building sometimes can be a lot of fun, especially if you're kind of inspired and, you know, whatever style you're looking to do. Like we got a couple space age looking buildings over there. We've got something that's more like I don't know, community kind of, almost, I don't know, Wastelander kind of, but not really. It's a little fancy for that. But and then almost to like some kind of temple like building over here, and then a regular looking house. All over the board. But anyway, very cool stuff, very creative, awesome work to all the authors, and you all have yourself a good weekend. I will talk to you later.